Oh, hilarious. Funny. Joke never gets old, does it? What's up, everybody? Tuesday. Could be the first Tuesday show ever in our history of being. That being said, that we are doing a show on Tuesday because situation has warranted it. As you know, yesterday was a momentous day. Glorious day where the June documentary was finally released, and now we can talk about it with all our thoughts. We're not going to just to show that we said part one on this one. So, Mirka, could you please explain why this is part one? All right, people want to know. A lot of people are asking.
Well, in this one, we're mainly going to focus on the actual video because it's 4 hours long. We might want to watch certain segments all the way through, and we're going to talk about a bunch of other stuff. We have highlights and stuff. And part two is going to focus more on the guy's reaction to the whole thing. That's going to happen over the course of this whole week. So by the time part two comes out, he's going to have reacted to the whole thing. You see? We have a plan for once. Don't worry.
We have a handle on it, all right, guys? But all right, before we start, before we get into the documentary, I think it will be... Oh, by the way, Steve of the Dead is here from the start. How you doing, Steve? Didn't say to you yet.
I'm good. I'm not a Chinese-style bear, so I'm good.
God. Oh, God. Okay, you don't know what he's referencing on that, but yeah, that was a funny one.
That
Philip
was wild, that last night, yeah.
He had to pig-splain what a panda is. Pandas, I don't know if you knew this, Meerkat. They are Chinese-style bears. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's what they are. It's kind of cool. But anyways, okay. Real quick, before we get to the interview and all that, we have all of our picks and stuff to go through and who got the most correct on that. All that stuff is all loaded up, and we're going to... But just a few quick things. So let's start with Twitter, because our boy obviously is now gassed up from being the king, that he is a busy boy on Twitter. Shades of 2018, 2019 when he was regularly doing this. Not quite that level yet, but
now as you can see, now he has the check mark. Now he has a financial incentive to shitpost on Twitter and be mysterious and try and trigger people and be like, you know, an actual Twitter user for once. Yeah. In his latest spree of tweets, some of which in the middle of the night, keep in mind, have been something. What are you going to show us, ALT?
Yeah, so first let's just get this out of the way. I know we talked about it last time, but this down from thing, if you don't get this is one of those prepared jokes, I don't know what to tell you. It's going to be one of those prepared dumbass jokes that he thinks is so funny. It's going to say down from Ent Tractors or something, and it's going to be hilarious. We're all going to laugh. That's what that is. But let's get to
the good question for chat. What do you think he's going to finish?
What's the incredible joke he's going to say there? So I think
it's probably going to be down from the felted, because felted is like his new catchphrase now. He completely co-opted that from Kino Casino. They will legitimately need to come up with something new because he completely eradicated any meaning that word had and any kind of comedic effect. It means nothing now. Everything is felted. Everybody is felted. He is felted. I'm felted. I am self-felting right now. You are felting somebody else. Everything is a felt.
You know, like when your mom picks up on like a meme and tries to start using it, and you know that's the end of it.
Yeah,
it's the same thing right here, right? Anyways, today, so just some examples of this. So, today's the day. Since my doc is out, you almost hate me now. I guess I'll be broadcasting to an audience of 5 people on DSP Gaming, 4 of which will be sock accounts of the same detractor.
Oh, he opened up the stream today with that.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay.
Up, yeah. He did the whole welcome everyone. The duck's out. It's over for me. I'm done. There's only one person here. He did that at the start. Yeah.
Any good joke is worth playing doing twice.
It's really fun because I've never seen anybody who uses this line of logic as much as he does. To the point where you can see when he's really cornered, when he's bringing out these extremes. It's like, obviously, 0 people are going to watch my stream today because I just got destroyed so bad. Which is like, no, it makes no sense. You're just saying it because you're hurt right now. I get it. But like, that's kind of telling that you're saying it.
Yeah, it means you're worried about it. Let's say you're worried about it. Speaking of felted, holy fucking felted. Now games can be felted. So holy fucking felted. I will 100% be covering this story on today's Level 1 podcast. Holy fucking felted.
I mean, it's not like it wasn't annoying at first, but I mean, yeah, he's killed it.
Are you cringing? Are you cringing enough yet on that? Holy fucking felt it. Okay, so this is next up. So Kino Casino Clips, by the way, posted this thing about Ethan Ralph, and he said, "No, I trolled everyone into thinking I was going and then didn't show. I believe he has more serious problems than me to worry about, though. So he dodged out of the fight they were supposed to do with somebody. Meerkat, you know the details on that? Doesn't matter."
Yeah. Well, he wanted to fight a friend of the show, Aaron from the Steel Toe Clown Show, who is now he's being sued for revenge porn. It's all like their whole story with Nick Rekieta and his family. It's just like a trailer park white trash soap opera. Yes. And if you care about that, there's plenty of coverage.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. But dude, Ethan Ralph, a grown ass adult, is acting just like okay, so how can we break this about me? That's the goal. He's acting just like I did in my early 20s in the FGC. I know nothing of the man, but this is some clown mode shit. LOL. I was bad like this too one day, guys. Laugh with me, not at me. Was there anything else in here, Meerkat? I think that's pretty much it. The cringe.
Yeah.
The busy boy.
I guess so. Maybe there's a couple of tweets that are older.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's kind of it. It's been a lot of this recently.
Yeah. Before we get to the interview, though, I do want to get into yesterday's just a little bit here, just a quick. So Philip tried to, again, this was yesterday on the pre-stream, after the documentary had now dropped. We have to kind of bring some positivity to this. And just listen to a minute of this. It's just incredible here.
71% of the viewers who checked out DSP Reacts last month have come back. 71%. That's huge. No,
that's not 71%. It's 71% more. And when you start with about 10 or I don't know how many people are checking out DSP React. That's how it's going to be.
How many does that work out to be? Yeah.
yeah.
You should just come and be like, okay, I see it, meh, and move on. So, 71% of people came back.
71% of people came back, guys. No, that's not what it says. It says 71% more came back. So yes, we're just continuing to say the lie. Yes.
Wow. I'm so baffled that it literally says it right there. And he's still misinterpreting it to make it look much better than it actually is. But notice the subscribers,
over
though.
25,000.
Yep.
He got 2.3 thousand subs in a month, which is more than 1,000% more.
Yes.
Than the previous month.
It's so much more that they don't know what to do with the number, so that's the high as it goes. Is greater than 999. They don't know the actual percent. They don't have numbers that high. And again, look at this.
At least say thank you for using percent correctly, Phil. It's not percentile. For
he learned that.
It's actually percent. Thank you.
I like also, as you can see with your eyes, that there is the most minuscule uptick in numbers, but he's trying to flex on this. So as you can see, there's a big mountain in there. As you might guess, that's when Kino Casino came on. And you see the next week and the week after that, it goes back down to within 100 of what it always has ever been. Yeah, we're flexing on that. Look at this returning viewership, guys. It's really great. As you can see, they're really coming back in droves. So again, just straight out trying to just say things that with anyone with eyes can see is not true, but all right. And I did want to bring this up because as you can see, I posted on Twitter already, but it's still funny enough to say again. Top videos for August. During this whole Kino Casino, I'm the King arc. What is the top video for the entire DSP Reacts channel? Release day unboxing of Lightning Returns, boys. Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's epic.
That is legitimately one of the best videos ever made, though. So it deserves to be there. I don't want to take any shade, throw any shade that the video's way, but it's pretty funny that is still the most viewed video, even after this renewed positivity. Okay, real quick thing again here.
Do we have a screenshot of the watch time? Because that shit was embarrassing.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
What was it? Was it 8 minutes? I think.
No. Don't give him too much credit. It's actually 5:50.
Let's go to live stream.
No.
I'm
sure it was around 8.
Okay, so as you can see, guys, average view duration for videos is 5 minutes and 50.
Oh my god.
So these are we're getting flexed on. We're getting felted right now with these analytics, though. Don't forget.
And of course, you can very easily see how much 5 minutes are if you just open up his channel and look at his videos from August this year and see how long they are. And you will see how meaningful people think his videos are.
Yes. It's incredible. So,
and his views actually haven't gone up by a lot. What is that? 14% month more than last month?
14% more than last month. And that includes the, Kino Casino arc. Oh, if my noise gate's acting up, I'll fix it. All right. Anyways, next up, let's go to the one, the only, the Review Tech USA, segment here. And this is pretty funny because it's just funny. Listen, it's real quick.
FYI.
Yeah,
yes,
FYI.
Of course, I've reached out to Review Tech USA. All right. And basically, I've said the following. I'm going to be very transparent about this.
Oh, please.
Rich, everyone wants me to have you on my show now that the tables have turned. Okay? However, considering
I don't know what that means, but okay, yes.
The way that you treated me.
Yep.
Obviously, it means now Phil is bullying Rich. That's what the tables having turned means.
The turns have tabled, yes.
Is that like the tables in a casino?
Yes. Yes.
You don't really see it being an easy thing to do, giving you a venue to talk or whatever. I would like you to try to talk to me and convince me about this. Like, why should
that didn't
good
do
job hiding that? Yeah.
That didn't do anything, by the way.
I have you on my show? What will we talk about, etc.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Good.
Wow.
Little things in it.
Yeah.
He wants Rich to plead. Please,
yes.
King, have me on your show.
Yes.
Please.
And that is also what we hoped Craig will do on Thursday, which we'll see. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I guess we'll see on Thursday.
He didn't respond.
Yeah, he didn't respond, obviously. So this is all the things he said directly to Rich. He didn't respond. How's he supposed to Rich? Yes, please. Yes, Philip. Please yell at me. I would enjoy that. I want to get yelled at by you, this new king. You're right. What is Rich supposed to do to that?
About etc. Right?
I'm not trying to defend Rich in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying, I'm talking about the actions of DSP here.
He didn't respond.
Yeah, you think?
Then I sent him a second message, and I was like,
ex-girlfriend behavior. He sent him a second follow-up.
Yeah.
Hey, Rich, you're
Jilted
ghosting me.
Drunk texting John.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Rich, you didn't respond to the first one. I'll try again.
Dude,
Hey, Craig, I sent you an email 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
You haven't responded.
About this. Like, everyone wants you to come on the show and talk. But again, and he won't respond. He's hiding. I'm not shocked at this at all.
Yeah.
I wanted to give him a chance, but he's not responding. So basically, I get keep in mind.
Yep.
Notice how this guy, with his amazing confidence and huge ego and self-esteem, only wants to do this now that he has the power position.
Yes.
And people unanimously love him now. He didn't want to do it when Rich wanted to talk to him, even though he still thought he was better than Rich, and he still thought he was in a power position, but he didn't want to do it back then.
Nope. We had to wait till this time when Rich is, the joke of the internet.
This is the guy.
And yes, thank you, Ludwig, for saying that. Taking orders from Keem for free. This is one of the people that Keem recommended he reach out to. So, yes, I'll do your bidding, Sir Keem.
That for years was trying to get me on his show. Constantly. He wants me for an interview.
We don't need to hear the whole story here. Just again, to anyone who doesn't know, DSP was trying to be very friendly with Rich after Rich was his only defender of not his only, but one of his only people that saw the May 1st incident as a positive. But then when Rich called out Philip's begging, Philip started hating him then. One more thing, LTG back in the news. Someone asked about LTG real quick, and this is Philip's response.
I knew he was going to be playing Street Fighter 6, and my idea was for us to do a collaborative work together where we would fight each other in Street Fighter. Probably
at Nintendo.
Multiple characters and go back.
That's a collaborative work.
Collaborative work.
I wanted to basically do a stream where we would commission directly with one of the Evo Day streams.
Yeah, I got it.
People go in Evo chat and be like, hey, DSP and LTG
this is
are fighting.
DSP's great idea.
And people would jump to the stream and give us all hype. I think it would work.
Yeah, that would happen.
I think that would definitely would have worked. People would have been excited for that.
Yeah, competitive gameplay, competitive Street Fighter players definitely want to see two lolcows fighting each other. That'd be great.
And instead of
especially when there's like top tier competition going on the other channel. Yeah.
He is not wrong about people showing up to watch two lolcows fighting, even if it's Street Fighter. They would, but it wouldn't overshadow Evo as he advertised it. And the whole idea is just a publicity stunt to cloud chase Evo because he's still spiteful that he was fourth and then nobody respected him because he didn't actually win anything.
Yes.
He only would have been like his trolls and LTG trolls that were really watching.
Yeah.
Nobody else would care because Evo's on. You know, so.
Yeah, he would have got massive attention. I'm saying, but not from the Evo crowd. It'd be the the people that enjoy lolcow content crowd. You know what I'm saying? That's what it.
He made a series of videos. The first one was basically him saying,
"Okay,
I need to be. I have to look at
listen very carefully.
And I have to work on my sexy.
Yes, work on my sexy.
Yeah, weight. Wearing a shirt. Change my setup to look good. Basically, all this stuff about the physical appearance, which is hilarious because it's obvious he didn't watch my content recently to see that everything had been upgraded and changed.
Okay, so I want to be clear about that. Yeah, so it's fun.
That was before this.
Exactly. It's hilarious that he didn't see my stuff recently because he hadn't noticed I upgrade everything and changed. So I guess he expects LTG to be a time traveler because here is the video of DSP talking about that video he's mentioning. Did you see any upgrades here? Do you see the crispy? I don't really see that yet. So that's another complete fabrication. They are coming fast and furious, my friends. The lies are coming at a pace it's tough to keep up with. But this is what happened. He's talking about crispy.
Coming.
The Walmart NPC in chat is telling me that I'm looking sexy today. Not sexy, sexy. There you go. Thank you. I tried to look as crispy as possible. I don't know.
Notice he's talking about the LTG. I'm talking the crispy as possible. Yeah. He has not made any changes, but my friends, the change would happen less than 2 weeks after this video. So, yep. You tell me, Philip. Did LTG
and also,
didn't see the upgrades?
As he mentioned, LTG was talking about him losing weight. You guys notice how much DSP talks about having lost weight and how good he looks now?
Yep.
Yeah.
LTG did him the favor.
This whole current saga, especially in the last couple of weeks, is him just saying stuff. He is so hurt. His ego is so damaged. He's so cornered. He feels like the walls are closing in. So he's just saying stuff that feels good. Doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be accurate. Much like when a wrestler cuts a promo, they don't say stuff that they're going to do. They say stuff that sounds cool. And that's what he's doing all the time.
Yeah, because truth doesn't matter in wrestling or in lolcowdom, I guess. Now that I'm the king, truth doesn't matter, so I'll just say whatever the fuck I want. So, anyways, well, I'll try to call it out if I see any more lies, guys. So real quick, I thought it'd be funny before we get to the our thoughts on the documentary. Let's get our first thoughts of this. I thought it'd be kind of interesting. So this is just me and Sam at this time. This is when we first talk about the documentary. On that note, we do have what's it called? Who's the other guy that's doing documentary? June the King. That's coming out later this year, right? So that's our next DSP documentary, which obviously we're all going to watch and see how it goes. Who knows the confidence level? Confidence levels all over the place with people, how well it's going to be.
Oh, that Turkey Tom slid in.
But we'll see. He did have a comment on Twitter, kind of like poking fun at people making fun of Phil, so that led to some doubt of if he's going to come at it.
You used to look so young back then.
You look at me. I'm a different person. Sharing the facts, because like you can't spin some stuff. Like I'm cool if you want to come at it evenly, like down the middle. I'm just telling you. Yeah. There's some stuff you can't spin either way, right? Like there's some stuff you can't spin. You lied to your fans about your parents dying. It's just one example I could pick out of 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
You know, so how you can't spin those. That's the thing that Phil doesn't understand, where like he says like Craig didn't get both sides of the story, but there's no both sides of the story on some of those things. There's not. You could there's some things where there are, right? You could say he's not playing mobile games, it's not him. Okay, that's you could choose to believe it or not. For us it's ridiculous, but let's pick one option. What's the one? Anyways, okay, you got my point. We don't know how it's going to go. Let's get Meerkat's take real quick. But let's get to it. This is the show we talk about all the messages we get, all the bits we get. Show we talked about June the King's documentary, and I think we came to a good conclusion. So Meerkat, can you explain your conclusion about what you think? Because remember, a lot of people are saying like, if June makes this positive, it's going to be dumb, but like it's kind of impossible to do that, right, Meerkat?
Yeah, you can't make it positive. If you set out to do an objective YouTube documentary about Darkseid,
so young
it
back
physically
then,
possibly cannot be positive. So if anything, the takeaway and the conclusion of the whole thing is going to be that Phil is a big asshole, but he's not as big as people make it out to seem, basically.
Okay, so that was your take up there, and I would argue that the only thing wrong with that is it does make him seem like the biggest asshole out there. I mean, not in terms of, there's some extreme examples that are different than that, but holy shit, man. So let's get some like big picture thoughts here.
I mean,
so
Meerkat's whole point is that like you can't present it like unbiasedly and not have him look like an asshole. That's like the whole point. He's his worst enemy because he is an asshole, and even the nicest way you could possibly present it is still going to make him look questionable at best. So
yeah. And I guess just overall thoughts before we get to individual things is I was shocked by how, let's say, not neutral June was on some things, because he brought some serious derogatory even terms to it. You know what I'm saying about Philip, and we get a lot of he obviously played clips like this one.
Got something you want to say about the DSP?
Nah, I don't got nothing to say about that little retard. Down syndrome Phil. Fuck that.
Oh yeah.
So that's a iconic clip there, But I mean, obviously he played those, but he was also saying things out of his own mouth, like let's say overweight. He was saying aging. He was saying some things that I did not expect to see. Was that different from your experience, Meerkat? What did you think about that? The overall tone of it.
Oh man, as a hater, I respect June so much more now. Because first, I watched the Review Tech USA documentary when it premiered, just to get an idea of how he covers a lolcow. Because I'm not used to watching June the King and actually paying attention to it. It's usually something that plays in the background. And man, there was a lot of subtle ways in which he expressed his very intense dislike for DSP. And this dislike has been accumulated from all the research that he had done on the guy. It's not like you just dislike him because he's begging or he called somebody a mouth drooler. It's just like the kind of natural disrespect you have for somebody. And you disrespect him publicly in a very almost elegant way. It was very, very entertaining to watch. And also the visual disrespect. You had like 3D animations that were very unflattering.
The siege of the Snowfort.
I thought that was a joke on Twitter. I saw someone do that picture. I was like, oh, that's someone did a mod. Like Cerulean's doing a mod for Resident Evil, I think. And I thought that was that. And then I watched the documentary today. I was like, that's in that? What the fuck? I was like, that was incredible. And I think that the editing of that, how that's put together is really cool. I mean, I like those effects they do. It just makes it seem like anyone can put up a picture, an old picture, but he makes it look like it's like from a photo book, like a picture, fucking, I'm talking about like actual pictures is where it's from, and it makes it looks like a way more polished thing. So editing was top notch, pacing was top notch. But Steve, what's your overall thoughts before we get into individual points here?
Lads, I went through this entire notepad. Like I got to the very last page. It was so good. There was so much in it, and to be fair, it's like nearly 4 hours long. That's you can fit a lot in there, but it was very comprehensive. The way you dealt with individual things, going into just the right amount of detail without being like too overloaded.
Yep.
And, like I end up doing a lot. It was brilliant. It was really well done, and just like by the end, you could tell he's done with him. He's done with him on Champions, the bank leagues, everything.
Yeah, there was one moment that not knocked me down, but figuratively knocked me down. And I was just listening, watching. I was like, and it just like it was like I got boom. I was like, holy shit, he said that? And we'll get there. That's my favorite part of the whole thing. We're definitely going to watch that whole segment. But there was that one thing that, holy fuck, man. It was so, I think Meerkat said the right word of like elegant, how he did it. When it doesn't come off as, attacking. It just comes off, here's what he did, and it's not cool. And this is why it's not cool, and let's show him other examples of him lying about that thing and all that stuff. But let's get through a few moments, though.
First,
go ahead.
Go over the draft picks that we had, because I think I think we hit most of them in the bullseye, really.
Well, I have each person ready for us real quick, and unfortunately, Steve's list included telling a pre-diabetic that fast food is okay, special treatment for Derek, measuring penis, and blood work. None of those were mentioned. Steve got a 0 out of 4.
That's another payday then.
Yeah. Let's go to Meerkat next. Meerkat's got monkey spank, the Jaha fight, give her a pill and the sauce. That means Meerkat is 2 out of 4, 50% for Meerkat there.
What did I not get? I got 3 out of 4. We didn't get the monkey spank.
Oh,
did you mention the sauce?
Okay,
we had a sauce mention, yeah.
Do pictures count? Because they showed a picture of the sauce.
It counts.
Okay. The sauce was mentioned. Everyone's okay. I got it. A lot of people yelling at me. I got it. 3 out of 4. Okay, Meerkat has 3 out of 4. I'll keep them up for now. Let's go to Marked One here. Marked One had things such as Catherine's restraining order. That's a no. Pork fried rice, chicky chang wang, chitlins. Those kind of racist jokes. They did not say those. They did say the slave trade, but they did not say any of those. Give it to them.
Does the slave trade count though? Because it wasn't just showing the slave trade; it was in the context of being on side scrollers and being confronted with it.
Oh yeah, everyone, chat's right again. They said Asian slur, a slur towards Asians, and they cut it out. So that does mean it counts then, in my mind. So we'll give him that.
He did drop the F word, didn't he? He did drop the F slur a couple of times.
Yeah, he did say that one. So but again, the one mistake that I found, there was 2 mistakes I found in the June documentary from my watching this morning.
The face reveal.
The face reveal was the wrong video, and it's no who gives a shit. And also, he said he renewed his BMW lease. That is incorrect. Philip went in to cancel his lease and got another BMW lease with a different car. So, unfortunately, Marked One will have to take the L on that one. So that means Marked One got 1 out of 4 because they did not talk about the ant for gout either. So there we go. Meerkat stands tall.
Hold on. They did say the 2 BMWs, did they?
They said he renewed his. So do we count that? They said he renewed his lease, which means
I'd count it. Yeah.
I would count it too if it's factually incorrect in the documentary. But they mentioned it, then it's like
okay. I would count it. 2 out of 4 for Marked One, but still not topping Meerkat with 3 out of 4. Get out of here. We'll bring up Sam next. Sam said,
also Marked One. If you're watching this, it did piss it down the rest of the day.
Oh, there you go. The British weather update. Kaching incident. Now they showed a picture of it. Do we count that? I guess we do, right? They did not say Kat's. Counts. They didn't say it was Kat's birthday meal, but they did say the Kaching. Parents are on death's door scam. Okay, so they didn't talk about the death's door segment, but they did say the 10-year plan part though. So
10-year plan, definitely, yeah.
So 10-year plan is in. Stolen tire was not mentioned. Sam gets a 2 out of 4. Still felted by Meerkat, who has 3 out of 4.
Wait, I'm sorry, because he didn't mention like parents on death's door, and that's the lie he told to get the money to go and. I know. He just sort of,
he didn't say that. Yeah, I do. We should talk about things we wish they mentioned and didn't. Obviously, at some point, but yeah. Next up is my predictions, and I said Incel Manifesto, which I was so fucking hopeful for. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Do it. They didn't directly reference it, so that's out. Kool-Aid Girl. Yep, go ahead.
The top haters segment was severely lackluster because you had so much gold in there. And it was it's never been more popular than now thanks to WPIG, and it shocks me that he didn't just at least mention it and just like put a screen cap of it or something.
So I got a 2 out of 4 because he did talk about not paying Rambo and Howard. That was a long segment actually. And obviously Jenna got her own segment, and but no 14-year-old girls, no Incel Manifesto. So there we go. So Meerkat reigns supreme as usual with these fucking competitions. I hate this shit. We make a new competition quick. All right, Meerkat the king will sit there for a while. He's the king. We're felted.
All right, just put me away. People got the point.
You win. Okay, so let's get to a few moments so we can talk about here. So I thought, obviously, the whole SRK part was good. Talked about all the things, laid out beautifully, the exact situation. I was like, that was the most in-depth, but yet simple way to explain the entire Evo situation, how he got himself in financial ruin, and like the Knudsen documentary didn't hit on this at all, but like how he went to qualifiers merely to go to qualifiers to get clout back because people didn't respect him. And all the while, he was just racking up credit card debt. Like he was quick on the thread through the whole entire thing was the financial choices that he made, and I thought that was really cool how he exactly laid out the situation. Philip did not have to go to West Coast Evo qualifiers, but he was happy to go because he had to get that clout back and show how cool he was in qualifiers. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
You made a very good point. The thread of the continued downfall, especially financially, in how each step of the way, it's explained that it was his fault. And yeah, he could blame people for copyright strikes. Sure, that fucking hurt him if it took away his monetization for a little bit. But in the big picture, man, that's just a drop in the bucket of all the mistakes that he's made.
Mm-hmm. Then we get to the okay, and I love the part where we just 100% think it's nepotism. Like he just laid it out.
Before we do.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom. All right, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, just quick commentary on the SRK and the FGC stuff, because it's really good to show that that June was showing all these different ways that Phil was like ingratiating himself into the community. He's like posting on SRK, he's going to the events and all this stuff he's trying, and then he immediately shows a clip of it, like people in the background going, "Phil, you are not from the West Coast."
Yeah,
like talking about how people hated him. There's like immediately at this point, early on, he's already being rejected. People hate him.
Yep.
He is an asshole, and people are like, "No, we're not dealing with you." It's fucking amazing.
Yep. We are not. You are. Yeah. You are not from the East Coast. To just show the hatred of it. And let me get my flowers for that. That's a clip I sent June. Thank you. You're welcome for that clip. You're welcome. You're welcome. Not that I found it. It was on the internet, but
we allow you to play one of those Review Tech USA applause soundboards.
Yes, thank you.
Just applaud yourself. You deserve it.
This is my full thoughts on the matter.
Like another scrub, another day.
Damn right. Thank you, Valle, for that.
I was expecting down to the king.
No. No. Okay. So then we get to about let's see. I got something here. So this is when how we started. We got past the SRK. We got into YouTube. No Leanna yet. We're just talking about it, and he gets into the segment called financial waste. Okay, and this part. I mean, not to get too far ahead. Let's get to Panda Lee first, I guess. So he starts out with this beautiful Panda Lee thread here, and he correctly says that there's no evidence that she was younger than 18. Yes, but he did lay out the facts there for you to make your own decisions on when they first had contact, which there's no proof of either way. But we did get the lore of this famous annotation, and this is new lore to me actually, because I didn't know that was the reason. I thought it was because Philip didn't want people to think that, but we did get this. Let's play that.
Leanna, who also is known as Panda Lee on YouTube.
Quote, a special note, Panda Lee is not Asian. That is all, unquote. This was an annotation found on the video, a request likely by Panda Lee to avoid confusion of her race. It is likely her because she also made sure to clear this up in an interview held through a Twisted Metal lobby.
Some guy on the reveal video commented that I look like an old Asian woman, so...
Yeah, they're all immature. Don't pay attention to DSP fans. They're fucking idiots. A lot of them are...
Good point, Air Raid Lord. Thank you. I agree, Air Raid Lord.
Yeah, people that like your boyfriend, they're fucking idiots.
Most correct statement Air Raid Lord has ever made.
They're all immature. Don't pay attention to DSP fans. They're fucking idiots. A lot of them are fucking idiots.
If they ever need a really awkward Asian-looking non-Asian chick.
Yeah, I guess so. So what are your favorite games?
I just want to know how many...
All right, so listen to Air Raid Lord try to get this question out.
Yeah, I guess so. So what are your favorite games?
I just want to know how many Asians have green eyes. That's what I want to know. I've never met an Asian with green eyes.
Neither have I. So
yeah, I have green eyes. Very rare, so.
What games do you
that
like?
would give away that I'm not an Asian.
While Panda Lee was trying to convince Phil's...
What games do you like? She pulls the Philip on him, just ignores him. So what games do you like? So that was pretty hype. We got Cooking with the King segment, and obviously, okay, another thing to say through this whole thing is when there is a clip to be had June would put the funniest like segment in. So whenever there's gameplay, like it's like a rule he had. When there was gameplay, it was him complaining. Like it was just incredible. So it could be like half a second clip. It had Philip complaining about it. Like, oh, this vision fucking sucks, and it goes to a different game, and this fucking sucks. It was really the attention to detail is intense in these things. I found. We showed Panda taking some strays here for being a little racist. As you know. Oh yeah. We knew. We knew that, but
police is here.
The police.
That was a good one.
she was young. So then we got the Project 7 part, which kind of went into the John Rambo part. And I just want to play the end of this because how they explained this, how he explained this was pretty cool.
Things would add up slow. Rambo not wanting to rift between DSP and John Rambo. Like when DSP lied about John Rambo not wanting to play Mario Party.
Yeah, I start getting messages and people are pissy. Oh, it's not mature enough for you, you big-nosed piece of shit.
Everything eventually circles back. Phil at first would pay John Rambo 50% of all the earnings in the Let's Plays he was involved in, but as it becomes more difficult to calculate the earnings with DSP's expansive catalog of videos, instead he would just toss him $100 every time he visited. But also, virtually every time he did visit, DSP would move things towards wanting to record more Let's Plays rather than hang out outside the realm of YouTube. This all relates to the 2012 condo. From these repeat
Okay, so he didn't point out there, which I wish he did, the part where Philip thought $250 a day was a better payday.
Oh, yeah.
But then Rambo said 100, but yeah. This was great. The lies really start here about financial waste, I thought.
For your friends.
Of DSP's poor spending habits.
Gaming quilts of awesome. I didn't know that. I never seen that. But here we go. Listen to this.
Few trump his 3 custom-made quilts. These quilts, individually and also factoring inflation, cost Phil a minimum of $1,000.
Damn. $1,000 on quilts.
Hey, they were custom made.
That's some intense. That's some intense quilting. Damn.
How much was Phil earning?
Yeah, here we go.
The good news
there is an amazing quote.
Yeah.
Before this, that Phil did not value or understand money except when it came to others.
Oh yeah. That was
fucking unbelievable. It's like nuclear precision.
Yep.
Person, I'm a finance major. I went to school for finance. I knew day one when I started making money off of YouTube that I was going to bank it. I was not going to go out there and invest in things that I couldn't get money out of. I'm still here in the condo.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
go out and buy a super overexpensive house. And
amazing.
I didn't go out and buy a sports car. Yes, I am driving a BMW, but it's actually a lot more economical than people really think.
Oh.
On DSP Gaming alone, for
is that how it goes?
The year of 2012, he got 85.19 million views. Dividing that by 1,000 is 85,190. Multiplying that by $2, not $2.25, which it could sometimes be, but $2 as a base CPM for Machinima, excluding the possibility of bonuses, would mean that he made a gross of $170,380 for 2012. The problem now that he was presenting his audience, starting 2013, is that Machinima was renegotiating many other contracts. What this meant for Phil is he went from sometimes earning $2.25 per 1,000 views to a base $2.
In the year of 2012, my views really have dwindled. And
so they're bringing this up because $170,000, right? And they had to negotiate. And listen to how much of an emergency he makes this out to be.
I mean is, I believe in the year of 2011, I probably got somewhere over like 10 to 11 million views.
10 to 11 million views
on DSP Gaming, and then in 2012 I only barely reached like 8.5 million or something like that. I don't think the final number is in yet.
DSP lied and understates his views by nearly tenfold. Not
amazing.
That is an amazing line.
Philip understates his views nearly tenfold. Just to remember to seem like he's not as well off as he was. That's been going on forever. Let's go to. I'm trying to go chronological order. We do have a lot of stuff to play. I do want to play entire clips too. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's worth having a brief discussion about the actual premiere experience that everybody had when watching the video. So around the 1 hour and 50 mark, YouTube broke because there were just so many people making fun of DSP that the premiere just crashed and was eternally buffering to the point where June the King straight up rage quitted and just posted the video.
No, really?
Yeah.
There was like
I missed the
20,000
premiere.
people
I had
watching.
20,000. Yep, I wasn't there for
Wow.
the premiere either, but I was just seeing on Twitter the messages.
Fuck.
And when Panda part came, it was just a sea of 17s. It was just 17. And by the way, Phil would flex on this point yesterday as well. I just crashed the site. Yeah, that's not exactly a good thing. I know you kind of want to spin it as that, but
a documentary showing how much of a shit you are. We'll be proud of that.
Yeah. This is when John Rambo says goodbye. And also, Philip was in the chat for a while. It wasn't going well for him because, now he's the king. He expects that everyone's going to be, the king is here. But as the second he steps a centimeter outside of that sphere, he sees nothing has changed. Just like his personality and his actions, nothing has changed. And he felt the full wrath of the internet in that chat room, and he said, bye-bye, turn right back around, like that Simpsons gif. Whoop, whoop, bye-bye, instantly, because, no one's saying I'm king here. What? Huh? Just bye-bye, and that's how the comments are as well. If you check out the comments, the positive ones...
He deleted his, didn't he?
No, it got because there's so many comments to it saying shit, I think, it got auto whatever flagged by YouTube, and then June put it back, but I think it's gone now again. I don't know what that means, but anyways, June unpinned it. There we go. It got unpinned. Okay, so it was pinned, got unpinned. So that was
funny. It's still there then, with like 400 replies or something.
Some great comments. If you have a second to read through those, some of them were really good. I can't believe they got down from the rafters in this documentary. I like that.
I think maybe DSP deleted it after it got unpinned because he wasn't the top comment anymore, and people were destroying him.
Yes,
and ratioing him in the comments.
Yeah,
so they would get a lot more likes than his comment did. So that makes him look bad. So probably you should delete that.
Dogsplain is saying it's not gone. So there we go. It is not gone. Let's see. I'll fact check. Plain.
It should be.
Dog house. You're in the dog house if it's still there. Okay, I'll look for it. Anyways, so this part here, this part here was I felt the graphics used made me just smile because this was funny. So this is about we're at the end of the John Rambo segment here.
Loaded in perpetuity by channels archiving the material. And so in permanence was this about hour-and-a-half podcast of evidence where John Rambo details his falling out with Phil. From Phil unfollowing him on Twitter, to Phil drunkenly messaging him late at night while watching their Let's Plays, and not calling him even though John Rambo said he preferred that over text. It was all this, plus other minute issues like merchandise both parties invested in, Phil's susceptibility to trolling, his self-destructive tendencies, and other private elements that caused his falling out. At the end, John Rambo offers an olive branch by stating that a phone call could fix this. But Phil never did call. And so Phil lost touch with the last friend he had.
I love that. The hat, iconic. The hat goes away. Like
never did call. And so Phil lost touch with the last friend he had. Not even a month later.
Come back, Rambo. Yeah, that was pretty hype. Let's move on here more. Let's go through it more. We're getting to the I guess where do I want to go next? So the iJustine clip was hype for me because remember Philip tried to pre-bunk this in the pre-stream by saying that it was a comment not meant for the public, even though it was in his own chat. Okay, you still said it, and he said it was because detractors told her about it. That was the real crime again. So that'll be fun how we're going to debunk this one. But let's see that part real quick.
These kids and their
I left this in on purpose.
So, Darkside Phil wants to dedicate a song to Panda Lee. He wants to dedicate Baby Come Back by Player. I don't know what to say, guys. Okay, so, anyway, here's Baby Come Back by Player, and they actually wanted me to say Baby Come Back, I don't get it. I really don't get it with these kids. But yes, Darkside Phil, here's your dedication to Panda Lee.
In many ways, Phil was defeated, but he would not be
It's like a jump scare.
In many ways, Phil was defeated, but he would not be Phil if he wasn't persistent in getting others to dislike him.
Phil wouldn't be
Wow.
Phil. Yeah, that would listen to that.
But he would not be Phil if he wasn't persistent in getting others to dislike him.
Amazing.
On his Twitch chat, a place only the current viewers are meant to see, Phil, in jealousy of popular creator iJustine, typed, quote, iJustine is busy getting gangbanged by EA executive staff all weekend. The only fucking reason she was actually hired in the first place, lol, unquote. Prominent detractor accounts took this screenshot and were quick to not only spread it on Twitter, but also tag iJustine in it. To much surprise, iJustine responded, quote, why don't you stop spamming everyone? He clearly has issues.
Correct, iJustine.
And Phil did have issues. For 10 years, Phil has had a dream job and managed to provide steady, easy income, while allowing one to work within their own set hours. Phil, on the other hand, had nothing to show for his near decade-long residence. The stinging back was he lost far more than he gained, and for a period, he seemed starkly aware.
Quote, that line is very hard. That line goes hard. This is where it just is just, I was like, okay, I see where we're going here. June does not give a fuck. He's telling you what he thinks, and that's the long and short of it. I also love some stuff. Let's get to the reveal of the swaying review, which I don't think I expected to see.
Oh man!
Yeah. The swaying reveal was here. The sway
even treated his audience.
The okays got mentioned, where that used to be the Instagram meme. Okay,
yeah,
that was honey.
A unique unboxing video.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil here, and welcome to a pretty unique unboxing video.
Phil thought that this video was unique because of what he was unboxing. What made it unique was for the first 3 minutes, his reflection was easily visible, and he was doing two things. He was swaying left and right, and he was doing his famous T-pose. Phil had swayed much in the past, but rarely was it not in first-person view. He claims it is because of back issues. The snorting is blamed on what DSP claims is a post-nasal drip. The snorting plays into his...
This segment got me laughing so uncontrollably, especially with the 3D animation. Just let the whole thing play out.
I will.
It's art. It's Kino, some might say.
Combined with his ability to remain online and survive like a cockroach came the derisive nickname Pig Roach. His laugh, his sway, his snorts, all could be, and some more, made into several minute-long compilations of Phil doing these singular actions. Phil doing these actions in tandem would also gain purchase. Then there were two food-related items that always got viewers' attention. The first was sparked by this tweet where DSP states he likes penne.
Penne?
What he means is he likes the pasta. But in Spanish, penne means penis. The last item viewers took note in was his drink of choice.
I think gin and tonic is my drink of choice.
Oh, this is good.
Not every single day, but I do have a gin and tonic or two every once in a while, maybe a few times a week at night to unwind, especially if it's been a stressful day or if my back's hurting me. And yes, I do have a drink.
ALT,
go ahead, please.
I have that noted down because as somebody else who's had to deal with addiction problems, you will see the amount of qualifying statements and the way he talks about it. He is absolutely minimizing the amount he drinks when he's like, sometimes occasionally I might have one or two, at the end of a long day, if I want to relax or my back's sore or whatever, just the amount of little bits here and there. So you don't have to go, I have 5 a night.
I'll tell you from experience. Yeah, go ahead, Meerkat, you first.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, when you're training people about your drinking and people kind of know, you're kind of worried if the people think you have a problem, you do a calculation in your mind about how many times can I say that will sound normal to them. Okay? And that's what Philip just did right there. He's trying to figure out how many times a week can I say I drink that sounds normal. I know the real answer, right? I know how much I drink every week when I did. So it's not something you have to think about. However, if you're trying to think about how the other person is going to perceive the number, you have to think very hard because you don't want to go too low because then they'll be like, I know you drink more than that, but you don't want to go too high because then it might sound like you have a problem. So you're left with a very difficult calculation in your mind that Philip was just in right there. And what does that lead you to do? Giving a lot of qualifying statements to give you more time to think about it. All right? So that, just like Steve said, you can see, listen to how nervously and qualify how many words he's saying before he gets to the actual answer, okay?
Drink of choice.
I think gin and tonic is my drink of
Not
choice.
this one, the next one.
Not every single day, but I do have a gin and tonic or two every once in a while.
Gin and tonic or two every once in a while. Maybe a few times a week to unwind. Especially if it's a stressful day. On my back's 7.
Let me give you the good reasons I do it, though, so it's not that bad, too. You know, I have a back problem, so you can understand that, right? It's amazing.
And, yes, I do have a drink.
Yep.
That similar strategy to downplay the mobile games as well. I'm not playing any mobile games in a major way. Just like 5 or 6, you know, casually.
Yeah, only occasionally if I'm hanging out with my wife and she's watching something on TV, I might open it up and do a bit of grinding while, you know. Yeah, exactly the same thing.
It was good.
Some gin and tonic. I guess I'll start the night right with a sip. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. I have a drink tonight. I have a
hammering this point home, by the way.
Tonic next to me, which I'll be sipping from time to time. I won't be downing the whole thing.
It was not often that Phil drank on stream. However, this proclivity did extend outside of his streams. Sometimes the bottle or mixed drinks made his way into his vacation videos.
Yep.
Everything else here, including the gin, which I'll probably drink mixed with that Sprite.
To indulge so much.
Okay, so I don't want to get into that quite yet. So I was surprised very much by this comment, all right? And so we're getting into the SOK thing. And how they ended this, and I thought he did, how June covered this was really good. And he said, he said, what was the exact wording? I made a note here. What also helps Phil are his worst trolls, because they allow him to misrepresent the detractor community as a whole. And that's a direct quote from June. I thought that was really interesting because it is true, because, you know, how Philip chooses to judge everyone is by the worst. That's why he calls out Duty. That's why he calls out, Super Crazy and stuff, because they're doing things that are easy to make fun of, you know, easy to call out, let's say. So that's why he's doing that, because that means everyone's crazy, guys. All the detractors are crazy. You know that, right? That's what he's trying to do, and it's pretty interesting that June chose to mention that. But listen how June describes Philip here in context of the SOK.
It may look like the sons of Kojima would sit on top of this virtual hierarchy, but in actuality, the only thing they have claim to is they're the ones most dedicated to Phil. The group watches his streams for hours at a time to no benefit other than that claim. They are united by an overweight, middle-aged, failing, ailing creator. They were...
I thought that was pretty direct. I was like, man, do documentaries normally do that? You know? Overweight, failing, aging, middle-aged creator. I was like, woo! All right. And we want to interview June? I mean, we'll see about that. But anyways. Any moment you want to go to next? Let me see what I have on my list. Steve, anything on your list you want to check out for you? We got some time left.
I'm not entirely sure if it's on your list, but yeah, there is one point where I don't know where it is. It's lost in here somewhere. June mentions that DSP made his parents stay in a hotel, and the clip he showed where he talked about, I've trusted my parents with my BMW. They're only staying 10 minutes away.
10 minutes away. His parents, I trust them with my whatever. It's I know what you're talking about. Hang on, let me find I trust them is what it says. There we go. Yep, right here. Okay, so he's talking about poor spending habits here.
Poor spending habits that were discourteous even to his parents that Phil set up in a hotel instead of having them stay in the condo.
My parents are visiting for the Christmas week holiday, and they actually took the car. That's right. I let them take the BMW. So yeah, that's a lot of trust, but I trust my parents. They actually are staying at a hotel that's less than 10 minutes away. We got them up. We set them up at room and board. It's a nice hotel that has a big suite. It's got...
Yeah, man. Yeah, like, why would you not trust your parents? You know,
I trust them. It's a lot of trust.
I had never seen this before, and I didn't pay attention apparently during the documentary because I didn't notice it. But man, what a fucking piece of shit. So he starts off by making himself look good by saying, yeah, I put him in a hotel. I gave him my car. I'm a nice guy like that. And then he makes them look bad by saying, yeah, it's a lot of trust I put in them. Giving my dad, who's been driving cars for like 40 years at least, my car. What a nice guy.
To make a 10-minute drive.
Yeah. And he does that to Kat all the time, too.
God,
First, makes himself look good, and then makes her look terrible.
Oh God, yeah.
That's not the only time he did it. Remember when he moved and his parents came over to help with decorating and everything? He stayed in the hotel then as well.
Yep. I don't know why, but he just doesn't want to stay with his parents. Like, it's just such an odd thing. And you have this huge as shit house with so many rooms. What? It's like, what do we have it for then?
It's like it's a proud moment for a child to have their parents come over and, you can stay at my place that I bought with my own money, and, you be proud of me because I had this success. No, fuck you. Go to a hotel.
And I trust you with the car. All right, this is another good moment from that. Just before that part, how June lays this out was very well done as well.
Allowing for more storage, and would give Phil and Panda Lee their own space as they were seeking to move in together.
Down, boy, down.
Would suggest Phil would either sell or
take it easy, everybody in chat.
Rent his condo and then move in somewhere close by.
To get common strategies would suggest. So there we go.
Would suggest Phil would either sell or rent his condo and then move in somewhere close by. This would allow easy access to the condo for maintenance. The social elements are as important, like his friends and family that were all living in Bridgeport. With this in mind, what does Phil do?
Can you guess it? I wonder what he does here. Find out next time. No, here we go.
I got the confirmation over the weekend that we are good to go. We are closing this week. By the end of this week, I will be the owner of a beautiful new townhouse / condo in Washington State. It's probably going to cost me about $7,500. I shit you not, it's that expensive to move across the country.
At every step of the way, he does the most dented choice possible. I mean, that's what this documentary is all about. Choosing the wrong thing. The eternal downfall.
Just a perfect editing choice to just show that map.
Yeah. How far it is.
It really gives like a lot of context for non-Americans. It's like, you may think that these states are close to each other. No, literally the other side of America.
Oh yeah, you could fit like 5 Englands in there with how far he's moving away. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Probably, yeah, it's like, come on.
Phil had decided to move from Connecticut to quite literally across the country to Washington to purchase a condo for $265,000.
2 days constant driving.
And good thing we have our BMW. Good, another good choice is to buy at least a new BMW before you go. That's the best thing. So yeah, the dealership that's dealing with your BMW is also that far away. That's definitely the right choice to make. Brilliant. One time,
quickly there was that. What did you do? Something like 6,000 miles in 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, that's when they brought that up too when Destiny busted on me. Yeah, here we go.
That.
Right here.
His new network. The sons of Kojima allegedly even got the CEO of Liberia Media on for one of their podcasts. This was a confusing set of events for everyone involved.
Yeah.
While all this was going on, Phil was in the process of purchasing a new car. For the past 6 years, he had been leasing a BMW. In the last 3 years, he had only driven the BMW 6,000 miles, and never changed the oil.
BMW, you're supposed to get maintenance for free, no matter what. That's part of the deal. That's why the car is so expensive.
Yes.
And they never contacted us to get it changed.
Phil's audience long understood he was financially illiterate, but hadn't been yet exposed to how illiterate he was with cars or the contracts related to them. That's why, whenever other content creators discover both, it makes for an interesting watch.
In 3 years, we only drove the car 6,000 miles. So, if that gives you any idea...
He what? He leased a car for $400 or $500 a month, and he's only drove it 6,000 miles in 3 years?
Anyone with a brain can see that's a very intensely idiotic choice, right? So
I don't drive, and I know how bad a thing that is.
Very intensely idiotic there. So we have a new Phil becomes a meme. I do want to go into this part here. How I don't want to say callous because it's not, but how matter of factly June says this next section I thought was very.
So, but it is what it is. Thank you guys.
This was not very close to his $5,000 goal. So Phil did a second marathon in April where he made a bit more money as seen through the bar at the top. Again, stating where all the money would go to.
I said, so people have been asking me questions like, so what's going to happen now? It's very simple.
Uh-huh.
With all the money that I've raised for these taxes, I'm going to go to my tax guy and say, this is what I have.
There was some natural skepticism and some paranoia around Phil, as he has shown himself to be a dishonest person. And so, in the detractor community, wild theories spread, but only the most gullible swallowed all theories around Phil. The newest theory came from the blindsiding reveal that Phil had gotten married to Kat and used the funds earned from the tax marathon streams to finance some of the wedding.
That can't be true. Hold on a second.
But Phil got on stream to quell some of the unrest.
And by the way, as I'm going to explain, don't worry, again, everything's going to be explained. Everything I've told you guys up front about that stuff is true.
Hold on for a second.
Please.
This, I know June is trying to frame this as like only the idiots are going to believe this, but this sounds like a very reasonable thing for Darkside fucking Phil to do. Yeah, I'm going to beg for a bunch of money, and then I'm going to spend the money for something other than what I begged for. So I understand that.
I think what he's saying is there's a lot of other theories, and only the most gullible believe those. But then when this one came, it was kind of plausible, and that's why Phil thought he had to respond to it. Yeah.
All
that's
right,
what I
get it. I get it.
That's what I got.
Everything, every dollar that was raised to help with taxes is going towards the taxes.
You heard
now
that, right?
Phil is reasserting that all the money went to taxes.
Okay, cool.
But later in the day, he states that was not the case.
And I did 2 different marathon events. All right. That raised in total, if you actually look at the amount of tips that I raised that can go towards these taxes, was around, I think, just under $2,500.
We're doing that thing again.
Which they don't.
We're doing the addicts downplaying their drinking again.
I want to say, I'm not sure.
Normally I raise tips, and normally tips go to paying bills. So even though I raised $2,500, a chunk of that had to just go to pay my monthly stuff normally.
Okay.
And so even though I raised $2,500, in reality, it was probably under $2,000 that I had left over afterwards to put towards
this way. It's worth it.
Phil had lied throughout his marathon streams and the streams afterwards by now stating that over $500 or so went towards his bills and other expenses. This contradiction seemed too great, so I asked Phil about it.
Let's ask Phil correctly. Let's ask Phil directly. He's not going to lie directly to you, right?
Phil responded with a superbly long-winded response. His answer...
Superbly long-winded. When long-winded just isn't enough to describe the situation, you add superbly to it. And that kind of gets you a better idea of it. So look at this. So this is all screenshots, right? Look at this. So this is Philip, you know. I know, and I no longer do fundraising streams of any kind. I'm not asking about that, brother. I don't give a shit about what you're doing now. I'm asking about a very specific fundraiser thing in which you lied. And you notice the contradiction because I misspoke. Look, I can't deny it. So you lied.
That's the answer, right? Right? That's the answer. That is in the third message he sent in response to that question. That's the answer.
I'll keep playing. I got you.
Phil about it. Phil responded with a superbly long-winded response. His answer is buried in this line.
It's in the
2 words in his 357-word response. Quote, I misspoke. Unquote. Meaning...
Beautiful, man. All that shit in the 300 or whatever words, the answer was hidden in 2 words. I misspoke. Gotcha.
That's great. That's one of the things that June does throughout this documentary constantly, and it's fucking amazing. It's just completely contrast Phil and like reality. And right here is like 4 messages, 300 and odd words, and the answer is 2 words.
I lied. I misspoke.
And keep in mind, June the King was framed by DSP as being the most factually based, the most researching, the most hardworking and honest documentarian on God's green earth. And this is what he has to say about him. If this is what that guy has to say about him, oh man, I think Phil is kind of stinky. He might not be a very positive, meaningful person, you guys. I'm starting to become a detractor.
That he misspoke about all the money going to taxes. What I failed to mention was this was not the only piece of evidence I had reconfirming that all the money from his fundraising would go to taxes.
But again, as I've already said, I can assure all of you that there was no deception whatsoever on my part outside of the fact that the wedding existed. All funds that I raised.
So apart from the lie.
Apart from that part where I misspoke.
Are going
apart from
taxes.
the bit where I lied, there was no lies.
Not a dollar. Not a single dollar that was supposed to be raised for taxes went towards anything during this wedding or anything. Nothing.
The clear answer is Phil lied, and the money raised is unaccountable. What few people knew at the time was Phil had a 10-year plan. In a conversation with his mother, who had bailed him out previously and delayed a potential bankruptcy, Phil was presented with two decisions: file for bankruptcy or develop a 10-year plan. This 10-year plan was meant to phase him out of content creation into a more traditional job. It was even clear to his family at this point that his online presence was only causing trouble for him and those surrounding him. Even now, there was an uproar of...
So, unfortunately, didn't dive a little bit deeper into that. Like Ludo World Order said, that it would have been a little bit better to see he just lied to his mom in this case. Didn't quite come out to say that, but I think, you get the point anyway. But it could have went a little bit stronger on that moment. But
the typical DSP and also general narcissist trait of future faking, which is basically promising people anything, whatever it takes, so you can get what you want, and then finding the very first reason and excuse why not to do it.
Yep. I have a note here. This is my note is sound familiar. So listen to this. This is after the pro Jared thing. Okay. So Philip's going to say some things here that sound very similar to something's happening right now. Yeah, go ahead.
I have something about this. Oh, I think it might actually be coming later. So yeah. No,
okay. Yeah, let's go.
Anti-pro Jared bandwagon. After this resoundingly successful tweet, Phil went on a stream chat and simultaneously downplayed and exaggerated these.
Okay. So as you can see, that exact same thing he said today. I expect downplaying something that's going well, because in this case it's the opposite, because I'm going to be so huge because of this. That's the joke. Same thing he's doing now.
Success of the tweet. By the 11th, Phil was so confident that this tweet was bringing him the goodwill of the internet that he made this.
The reason I'm doing this is because in the past couple of days, the internet at large has finally kind of turned an eye to me for the first time in a major way in a long time, in an actual positive light.
This
sound familiar? Sound familiar?
Video is titled DSP Tries It, Debunking 7 Years of Slander. In a nearly 2-hour video, Phil took a cursory glance at some of his controversial moments, like the time he said Minecraft was stupid, dating Panda Lee while she was 18, or explaining the escort drama that had long been proven false.
Yes.
Lacking here was everything else, from his financial woes, his treatment of his audience, his lashing out at other creators through minimizing their achievements or insulting them altogether. Phil's video was completely lackluster.
There we go.
Amazing summary of that stream that was.
Yep. It was completely lackluster and didn't comment on anything people actually wanted to hear about. But, okay, cool. Okay, now it is time. I think we have to play the moment that knocked me out of my chair. And I was like, this can't be real. This can't. I was like, this is such a beautifully executed line. So let's watch this segment, if you don't mind. Here we go.
Even a successful
video. That part.
Phil even treated his audience to a pretty unique unboxing
Not that
video.
One right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil here.
Not that.
And welcome to a pretty unique unboxing video.
Phil thought this
disaster, I know.
Revelations that finally among
here we go.
Going to foreclose on you. Chances are they're going to sue you.
The bankruptcy forms made it into the hands of the detractors. In these dense, lengthy legal forms were revelations that finally, among many other things, put a number on Phil's total debt. The unsecured creditors on page 20 list all of Phil's unsecured claims, so items that had no collateral such as personal loans and credit cards. The page 1 of 7 on the bottom right corner was already hinting at the sheer amount of debt Phil had incurred. The only thing more impactful will be going through all the individual accounts. And so, number 1, $1,100 to an American Express card.
Laying it out.
Number 2, $6,400 on a different American Express card. Number 3,
another one.
$26,000 to Bank of America.
And another
Number
one.
4, $2,700 to BMW of North America. Number 5, $10,700 to a Capital One credit card. Number 6, $14,100 to a Chase credit card. Number 7, $8,500 to a Citibank credit card. Number 8, $13,800 to a different Citibank credit card. Number 9, $15,600 to Citibank. Number 10, $10,000 to a Discover credit card. Number 11, $9,300 to Lenny Club Corporation. Number 12, $4,300 to Prosper Marketplace.
Just washes over you, doesn't it?
Number 13, $3,800 to Sam's. And finally, number 14, $4,700 to US Bank. This comes to a grand total of $131,550.28. The secured loans with collateral include his car and Washington condo, which was now his only condo. To add to this, on page 19, readers could see Phil still owed over $100,000 on his Connecticut condo, in which he originally purchased for $131,000. This means he was paying the minimum, or if he really wanted to, he could have paid the entire thing off and lived there within just a few years of purchasing it.
Correct.
Instead, he is now here, 11 years later, owing the IRS $15,000, having virtually no credit, being stripped of what little he accrued, and being returned back to nothing. Was it worth enduring a decade of trolls, daily streams, managing lies, and being hated in the only community you know? The answer is yes, because Phil has something almost no one else has.
Yes! Hell yeah, brother! Oh yeah! Joke's on you, bitches!
This is
in the background, incredible.
Phil's plights.
I know, like, that's like, it's oversaid, like spit take or whatever. But I heard, I was just like watching like a normal thing, and just like hit you, like, whoa, that's what we're doing here. Oh my god! Laid out every credit card, the building, right? The building of the story, and then he gets to that line where he says, "Was it worth it?" Yes, because what is it again? Let's give it the full thing right here. Let's hear that again. I don't care.
Was it worth enduring a decade of trolls, daily streams, managing lies, and being hated in the only community you know?
Oof.
The answer is yes, because Phil has something almost no one else has.
Oh, God.
WWE superstar introducing down from the rafters.
The guy is beating up DSP, in case you didn't know. Amazing.
Phil's plights were all worth it because of this Candy Crush gotcha-designed phone game themed around the WWE, known as WWE Champions.
Let's watch this whole segment.
It is important to note that Phil has refuted investing into this game to the extent people have claimed. Despite a mountain of very strong evidence, he has room to dismiss it because there is no smoking gun. Phil has a history of playing other mobile games themed around the WWE.
Just weird, does he look Russian
and was not
in them bits?
Russian style? Yeah.
Shy to spend money on microtransactions to get an advantage. However, on WWE Champions, there is an account that has seen some tremendous climbing in leaderboards that would be impossible without microtransactions. This account's name was They Call Me DSP. Phil's Twitter handle is also They Call Me DSP. Phil has a history of using that username in other apps like Pokemon Go, and Phil in the past has admitted to playing.
Oh, in this part? Let's see.
Of using that username in other apps like Pokemon Go.
Oh, okay.
This account's name.
Okay. Is there? Let's see.
Next bit, yeah.
Name was They.
Unalive Billy 420. What is it to be anything at all? Nigel of Phuket, Bacon Rash, Oversized Courgette. There we go.
Call Me DSP. Phil's Twitter handle is also They Call Me DSP. Phil has a history of using that username in other apps like Pokemon Go, and Phil in the past has admitted to playing.
WWE Champions is a game that plays a lot like Candy Crush, of all games, or what's the other one, Bejeweled. It plays like those two games with wrestlers, and honestly the game cheats and is not very good, but I just play it because it has wrestlers in it.
What detractors seek to prove is that the account They Call Me DSP is indeed Darkside Phil. If they can attach this account to Phil, then that alone proves that Phil spent tens of thousands of dollars on this game.
Yes.
This is where TJ Gamebox comes in.
Shout out TJ Gamebox.
The person that plays the same mobile.
I gotta say shout out. Yeah, go ahead, Meerkat.
Yeah, I was basically gonna say what you were gonna say. Shout outs to everybody who made it in this one, especially Pig Go. DSP Institute, the creator of Pig Go, massive shout outs because you bet your ass June the King found it very, very helpful. We got, of course, the tips tracker, Piece of Peace.
Yes.
Massive shout out, of course. And one and only TJ Gamebox, the GO, the actual WWE champion, who was interviewed in this and explained how he got to the bottom of this.
And I want to add to that list, obviously, Evil AJ. We got Voodoo, the guy that one of the first people to not be a DSP fan. He got they showed his video a little bit here. Voodoo 112, I can't remember his name. Dexter
DSP cult leader as well.
DSP cult leader, DSP hate legion, Dexter Charles Ward, El Crimson King, obviously Christopher Tato, Be Awesome one as well. Yep. the butthead. Yep. A lot of people got, let's say, their recognition they deserve from their service many years ago, right? Like DSP hate legion hasn't put a video out in like 11 years. That's how long they've been doing it. So shout outs to them.
Ball game. He was dragged into this mess through unscrupulous threats.
We're playing WWE Champions, and we're part of a guild called Xena. And the guild, unfortunately, was joined by a person.
Oh, Jaha too. Yes, Jaha.
DSP. The second that he was in my guild, a lot of people in my guild were threatened to be doxxed by detractors for having him in the guild because they didn't want us to go ahead and give him any prominence in the game.
It was clear that detractors were keeping tabs on the They Call Me DSP account, and they were following this account through various guilds, threatening guild members in-game. Other guilds, like TJ's guild, would adhere to the detractor demands and remove They Call Me DSP. It is also important to note that besides Phil claiming that he does not own the account, attempts have been made to reach out to the They Call Me DSP account to see if the owner could somehow prove that they were not DSP. The owner was not cooperative, which gives more fuel to the theory. As for TJ...
That's another thing you have to believe if you believe they Down from the Rafters is not DSP. The owner will talk on Discord, but will not do anything to prove they aren't that person. They want to be known as the DSP Gaming because I guess they don't want to debunk that. So there we go.
TJ, having some prior knowledge of Phil, became interested in this investigation.
So I went further into it. I decided to keep track of money, keep track of tabs, keep track of when he's online. When I would find that he was online whenever DSP was offline. And whenever he was online, streaming, that account was offline.
The thing is, with higher spenders or those more invested in games, guilds, clans, whatever it may be, drift off their game and use third-party software to communicate with one another. This, in most cases, is Discord, but in other cases it can be apps like WhatsApp, which is primarily used for communication. There is also the Line app, which serves a similar function. And as it so happens, one of the guilds They Call Me DSP joined was using the Line app.
When I noticed he joined one of the guilds, there was...
All right, hold on. We got a little news breaking here. Ethan, Ralph, and DSP are going back and forth on Twitter as Ralph has put out a call-out video. Dumb.
Well, we saw like the Phil's most viewed videos recently. We know what the sort of common thread between them all was.
This is another easy dunk for Phil because Ethan Ralph, another, universally hated person that everyone thinks is worse than DSP, and now DSP can take the easiest W of all time by just interacting with him. But, the circus continues.
Just saying, I am not Ethan Ralph, and that's an instant win. That's all you got to do.
Ready.
Or he could be part of the Line app. It says Line app was used for communication. So I did a little bit of digging and found that if you connected his phone number, because this phone number is public, onto the Line app, it popped up with They Call Me DSP.
This is a strong form of verification. You type in your number, then the app sends a message with a code to that number. This is rather straightforward because though numbers can be duped with outgoing messages, messaging the number back will result in reaching the actual number and not any spoofed one. Forgetting about the need of phone verification, Phil initially dismissed it as a troll with creating a Line account under the Call Me DSP.
That'll
Sounds
work.
like someone made an account in my name to try to fucking screw me over, just like Discords and everything else that's happened this year. I know nothing about it, but it sounds like you're a conspiracy theorist, doesn't it?
That person would prove to be true. That person would not prove to be a conspiracy theorist.
This is like one of the points where I think I wish you'd inserted a clip here because I wish he'd used the what code Fallout New Vegas stuff where he was trying to play ignorant about two-factor authentication.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "Yo, what code? What are you talking about?"
Then informs Phil that his number.
Okay. Yep. And this is it's a fan theory if you want to call it like that. So he has teased the two words down and from on Twitter. He's talking to Craig on Thursday, right?
Yep.
So we got 1 day left. So we got down from the.
Yep.
And what if on Thursday he just straight up drops the whole thing? I'm down from the rafters, Craig. Now, are you happy now? I admitted it. Which would be the probably the dumbest thing he can ever do is just admit to this because There's legitimately hours of clips of him denying it, calling everybody who's accusing him of doing it everything. He called them everything.
Yes. He's called them...
pretty funny.
First of all, that would put credence to him begging for taxes. All of his fundraisers happened while the streak was going on, right? I mean, basically, every single time he begged for money in a very intense way. I'm not talking like, hey, guys, I want $100 today. I'm talking about, I need $2,000 to save my house. The streak was ongoing at that time. That time.
And all the spending has been tracked. All the spending, including... when everybody else was with their families on Christmas, he ranked number 2 in the leaderboard.
Guys, we've seen him play it. We've seen what he's like. It's took him less than a week to get near $1,000 spent.
Yeah.
Oh,
he mentioned that across 5 games across years. Yeah. He was like, they're not letting me spend money to advance. Like at this point, it's just undeniable.
So, but you have to, what's the strategic play for Philip is to hold the line, right? You cannot say it's you. But here's the thing: that this king arc going on, people will continue the king arc just because it's the meme of it, right? It will continue because we don't give a shit, Phil, but it won't last forever. Nothing lasts forever in any world, especially in DSP's world. So when this arc does end, whenever that happens to be, then what, right? I know Dents are very special people, and they stand with Phil through thick and thin when he lies straight to their face many times. But I mean, is there a limit? Is there a limit? That would test it.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Because now the latest DSP narrative is that nobody cares where he spends his money. Because one of the Kino guys said it, so I guess it's true. So you can beg for money to pay your bills, or that you will have to eat a lunch meat sandwich if you don't hit the tips goal, and then spend it on Hulk Hogan and his sweaty abs, and none of that matters. Nobody cares.
And how about calling people mouth droolers? They need help. I mean, just endless, like you said, hours of compilations can be had about him calling people stupid for mentioning Down from the Rafters, mentioning WWE Champions. You know, it's just, it will be a...
and the whole protecting his family thing.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, if he just straight up just teases it on Twitter and then admits that it's him, he's not protecting his family in any way. And it was no problem at any point that he would just show this. Obviously, it's not damaging his family.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be pretty funny if he shows it before the interview with Craig. Because remember, his only reason he couldn't show it was protect his family. Right. Protect my family.
Yeah, but to bring this back to addiction, though, because now we've got a second account that we're spending on. When this Kino arc does end, you know very well that addictions that escalate, it's hard to get back. It's hard to sort of like come down from that ladder and reduce your dosage. It takes a long time to get off something. So when the money stops, you've now got 2 addictions to feed, one public, one private, and you can't feed either. So it's only going to be worse.
Can you imagine him unbridled by this farce of it not being me? Holy shit. He'll be number 1 consistently. You could bet your ass on that. and like, you know, last week I covered all the WWE Champions mentions, and I might do it on Friday again. We'll see. But he legitimately knows it's predatory. They're trying to take my money. It's totally rigged for the house. They try to make it so you have to spend money. It's assholes. It fucking sucks, man. It should be illegal. He says all this like he knows it's bad. Like when you're an alcoholic as well. You said, I know I shouldn't be taking 20 shots a night. I know it's not healthy for me. When you have an addiction, you don't give a fuck. And especially now when there's nothing holding them back. Because usually you got something holding you back. Like maybe you got to go to work some days, you know. You don't have the money to feed your addiction. Unbridled addiction. That provides lolcow moments for sure.
If you're really committed to your addiction, you don't actually have to go to work. And you can definitely get the money for it. Even if that means stealing a couple catalytic converters. You can do that.
Or a tire.
Or a tire. Just one, though. It's not that strong of an addiction.
Business style announcement. I'm going to read all the super chats at the end. And also we have special breaking news. We have a premiere video On that being said, edited by the one and only Sam the Dentist, coming at you here live after the show. We will redirect you there for the premiere of that, and the title of which, let me tell you, because I don't even know what the title is. What did Sam title this? He entitled the video, it is entitled, That Being Said Highlights Felted Live. All right, so you get ready to get belted together after this, all right? That'll be after this episode. All right, let's finish this part real quick.
Number is tied to the Line app account, to where Phil changes his tune.
Vidibit Big Boy, you have to enter a code from an SMS message when you download the app. The troll has access to your text messaging. I'd contact the authorities if I were you.
What's a text message?
Oh my god.
What's a code?
Yeah, what's a phone?
Yeah, what?
Huh? Look,
this guy sounds like a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, he is a conspiracy theorist. I think he was razzing.
Like, there's no way to dupe one of these app companies.
Oh,
dupe. That you're using a phone number that you're not, right? Or there's no possible way that in the 6 years since my cell phone's been doxxed that I changed my number, right? No way possible that I would have possibly done that, right?
No way possible.
Phil claims two things. Firstly, that it may be possible to fool a company through a spoof number.
Yes.
Which it is not.
Yes.
The second is Phil introducing the potential that he changed his number during this time, which was countered by someone calling Phil's number and getting this.
James the Lesser shout out.
This is a clip for the ages.
Forwarded to an automatic voice message system. Phil Burnell.
Not only that, when ranting about John Rambo, he slips up.
I have nothing to make amends for at Rambo. I never mistreated the guy. The guy was always told me that he was happy when we were doing work together and everything. He's the one who cut off contact with me and lied to me saying everything was all right, but then stopped talking to me and then made a negative video about me later. He would have to reach out to me. I am the one who still has the same phone number. I'm the one who,
well, that's good. Same phone number then. Cool.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm the guy who's still easily reachable.
Pretty
What
good.
this proves is Phil has a line account. And also another item to stack on the massive pile of Phil's lies. But again, Phil could run with the narrative that just because he has a line account that is also under the Call Me DSP, that doesn't prove that he plays WWE Champions. And so the investigation continues and lands on a different third party, Discord.
So I have sources of him joining and being kicked out of my guild. I have sources of him being in another WWE Champions Discord and me talking to him.
This is significantly more promising than the Line app, because unlike the Line app, They Call Me DSP's Discord is clearly seen interacting with TJ's guild. And while anyone could choose whatever name they please on Discord, all accounts have to have a unique code attached to them. And thanks to a bot archiving the people that left the Discord, that not only shows the name, but also unique Discord ID, which is 4058.
So I wonder another interesting thing that could be why he's doing this, would reveal it if he does, which I still don't think he will. But if he does, to Meerkat's point, you can't explain this away. You cannot.
No.
Unless you expect your audience to be truly, truly, truly mouth droolers, as he says. I don't want to say anything disparaging. Like, you have to be if you don't believe it at this point, right? Are you going to say Photoshop? Is that what we're going to say? I mean, this anyone can Photoshop this. I guess that's what we're going to do. We'll see when he debunks it.
At the time, Phil also had a secret mod Discord, and a rogue mod just happened to leak Phil's unique Discord.
Oh, that's the part, it goes really fast, I know.
Phil also had a secret mod Discord, and a rogue...
So that's the upstairs, up above his avatar, you can see that he's talking about Sidella there, and Runselstiltskin's chargebacks. So that's, again, his secret Discord of his comments about his own audience.
Mod just happened to leak Phil's unique Discord ID, which was also 4058. Though the numbers are clear, what Phil now relies on is trying
like
to
1651. We should have made
4058. Yeah, let's make that a meme. Yeah,
4058. The evidence itself is illegitimate. Somehow, one way or another, some image is altered, and of course, they never use Discord for those purposes.
Okay.
The only time I ever used Discord was to chat with people back when I had a partnership with Twitch and stuff like that. I had a contact who I chatted to a Discord. But outside of that, I've never used it for anything else. I don't even know what Line app is. I guess it's just chat. I don't know. Maybe it does do those other things. I have no idea.
At this point, one can reasonably deduce that They Call Me DSP is Phil.
Yes.
Though Phil claims...
I like that he just says it so matter-of-factly. Just so matter-of-factly. one can reasonably deduce that Down from the Rafters is Philip Burnell. Like, what Philip's saying is
the
like...
prosecution would like to argue that one could reasonably deduce.
Yeah, like what he's saying is so inconsequential because he said so many lies at this point. Like, whatever you say, who gives a shit, man? I mean, it doesn't matter.
Should be
We're not even
evidence
done.
is
No, we're not.
false and relies on his minuscule credibility to sway his audience.
Yes.
And so the investigation continues to find
Minuscule
something more definitive
credibility?
that Phil cannot excuse
To
as
sway
false.
his audience.
This is where the bankruptcy documents come into play.
Yes.
His expenses are most pertinent. On page 32 of his bankruptcy petition,
Actually, it's a
these
pertinent
personal
as well.
expenses are
there you go.
itemized between him and his wife. His monthly expenses come around to $5,100. His mortgage and tax.
All right, so they get into this. I kind of wanted to skip that. They get into the weeds of the bankruptcy thing. They get into the bankruptcy call. They get into that. Obviously, you haven't watched it. I mean, watch it. It's incredible. But we got to show some other things. I do want to show this vest streak is 2 minutes. Go ahead, Meerkat.
Yeah.
And during this segment, they talk about the bankruptcy call. And in the bankruptcy call, when he itemizes these expenses, when it comes to gaming, he talks about the cost of a video game, the cost of a console, the cost of a microtransaction within a video game. And anybody that is even semi-consistently watching a DSP stream knows that this guy, before maybe Street Fighter 6, pretty much almost never bought microtransactions. If anything, it's like $20 a month at
Maximum.
most, if he even did.
Maximum would be $20.
So yeah, this whole figure is garbage, and is completely made up and fabricated to account for all the spending in Champions and make it make sense.
Yes.
Because when I was in university, we had a statistics class. No, it was whatever, business finance class, whatever. We had to do a balance sheet. And everybody knows in the balance sheet, you have to balance the fucking, the income and the expenses, and they need to match or whatever. And that's exactly what he did. He knew I need to reach this amount of money, and he just made it up as a figure, and so it could make some sense. And he wrote it on this, and his tax attorney, whatever, Rochelle, that woman, complete mouth drooler. He didn't care about it at all.
Yep.
And that's how it works.
It's amazing because it happened during a COVID, so you're not going to the courthouse, and also he's in an industry where no one I'm sure Rochelle has no clue what actually costs go into that. So it costs $5,000. Okay, yeah, you're an internet YouTube guy. $5,000 makes sense.
Boomers.
Yeah. So, and Craig tried to point that out. Remember, that's one of Craig's hardest points in the interview was like, make it make sense. $5,000 a month. Can you tell me where that goes? And then Philip tries to blame his tax attorney for that when you're still responsible for what the tax attorney says. But, Philip's trying to put the blame on her, as he has done. Everyone in his life could be put blame on. So, yeah, that segment was pretty
We're going
high.
to jump to the daily wrap bit because it's the capstone on this bit, but it's obviously it comes later because June's going chronologically, so I don't know if you wanted to but it's just a great summary. It's after the scorn bit.
Okay, the scorn one.
I think it's later on, when Sir Moist does scorn.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
It's after
I'll get
that.
there. Okay, I gotcha. I'll search for it because I think what how can I search for it? Let me do vest streak real quick.
Yeah, do the
here.
vest streak.
Vest streak real quick. I
We'll
like
get
how
to
he
it.
brings
He's
this
going
up.
chronologically, so
Yeah.
Pig, go. It works is you put in a phrase. This searches for YouTube transcripts and lists them in order by date. You can also search within a specific date and visualize the usage of a word through the trend option. And if we type invest with a space on both sides, that way we don't get words
telling
like
you how to use it.
Vested. We get results relating only to the word vest. This word was not just used for demonstration, but also because this article of clothing.
This one soundbite I want to hear.
And now let's talk a little bit about.
All right, so we show how the vest happens.
Well, could have fucked right.
Archer was sticking with viewers, and they wanted more.
Oh, that was one of his jokes as well.
I think the black DSP merch T-shirt really contrasts the vest. It brings out the positive side.
This is what I wanted to show.
Phil be dabbing on detractors with this new fresh streaming look. Every day, I will do something different. One day I'll wear sunglasses. One day I'll wear a
Listen
vest.
how stupid Philip says this idea is.
Anyway, so we had the tips goal. I'll wear the vest. If we raise $200, I'll wear the vest and the cowboy hat. If we raise $1,000 in the next hour on my Minecraft stream, I will hop on one foot and sing Kumbaya while I'm wearing the vest and the cowboy hat. How about that?
See? Notice how it's all stupid and see how stupid this shit is?
I'm not kidding you. They're like Twitch streamers that this is what happens and this is what they do. and they make the money too.
You don't want to become them, right?
Like, wow. They just pull.
I love that you can see that settle in his head there. Like, they make money. Then he sinks in and he's like,
hold on a second. Well, you don't want to become like that, Philip, right?
You guys won't believe it, but there's a streamer that offers for $1,000 to rip a shirt.
Hold on a second.
Just, like, rip it off. Yeah,
that's
and
ridiculous.
It's not even like a custom shirt with like an image or something. It's just the shirt that has something written on it with crayon.
That sounds pretty cool.
We're pulling a crazy stunt.
As combative as Phil was with wearing the vest for jest, the continued request to wear it and the potential earnings was too great, and he began to cave in.
Yes, I will tell you guys, I will put on the vest if we hit the tips goal for tonight.
Notice how stupid it is?
It seems to be a new running thing that people want me to put on the vest, so...
Even though he caved in this one time, he wanted to be straightforward that this wouldn't be a common occurrence.
We're not incentivizing those things all the time. It was something silly the other night.
Thank God.
Oh, we know.
Thank God.
For a certain tip, and I said, if we hit the tips goal tonight, I'll put on the vest. And then we hit the tips goal, so I put on the vest, just to be silly. It's not going to be something that happens every day.
Okay, good.
If only Phil knew how wrong he was.
Thank you very much.
If only Phil knew how wrong he was. All right, that was pretty hype. It shows the ending of that. We must. It's a requirement. I'm going to get some Kool-Aid Girl in here, all right? Come on, we got to. Must be. People will revolt if we don't do that. Let's see.
It's such a shame that this missed the null interview, that it couldn't be included. I know it was too close to everything, but that's a quote of the year. That.
Let's see. Here we go.
Should have been in.
Oh, sorry about that. Little preview. So yeah, this is the talk about
Content for OnlyFans. Some to a bottle of water and was drinking from it. But for some reason, she thought it would be a good idea to add it to her bath and ended up trashing the bathtub. She splashed it on herself so it stained her skin. She did it to create content for OnlyFans, which should be up. Jesus. She then smoked some dink, we did stuff, and that was that. I need to reevaluate my life choices. Unquote. If it weren't for the pictures, this would be seldom believable. But as evidence was brought forth, it was clear that a troll had slept with Phil's sister-in-law. This really only scratches the surface of the rabbit hole pertaining to Phil's extended family.
Okay, so that is a very loaded quote right there, and it's true. But he's saying, I'm not going to talk about a lot of other stuff you might have heard. This
very
only
diplomatic. That
here's the whole line. This only scratches the surface when it comes to Phil's extended family, and he's not wrong about that for sure.
No.
I want to see how Philip handles that quote, by the way.
Look, bro, I still can't believe this. You need to be a sick individual for this woman to take a bath in Kool-Aid and you're still going to go through and fuck her. It's ridiculous. I still can't believe this actually happened.
Can you undo it, though? I've heard that. Some people say you can't
undo it. Once it's done, it's done. It's over.
It's like clown makeup.
Unfortunately. Yeah, clown makeup. Okay, so a few more clips here, because obviously we can go all day with this, because it is really fucking good.
And in the middle of all this, he made a terrible mistake.
Well, hello everyone, and
there we go.
Daily Wrap.
Gotcha.
On Phil's desk was his phone. On his phone was a rather familiar-looking layout.
Oh.
As was quickly pieced together, Phil was logged into WWE Champions.
Oh.
The game he states he did not play since 2018 because they were a waste of time and money. Time after time.
So he just slips those in like they go like water going into the script. Hear that? Which he said he hasn't played since 2018 since they are a waste of time and money.
States he did not play since 2018.
It's another one of those moments, very briefly, because he's not picked the same screen that's on Phil's phone, and I just feel like it would have made it much easier to visual. Because secret documentary, you can see the screen. You can get like an image of the exact screen is on there, and I feel like it would have been like the better choice to make. But,
he explains it well enough, I feel. I don't think it's a big deal. It would be better, but
because they are a waste of time and money. Time after time, Phil lied about not playing WWE Champions before was finally caught in this lie.
I love this image.
This did have a silver lining. His screen was too far off to make out a name. And so while it's irrefutably confirmed that Phil was actively playing it, Phil was now
irrefutably confirmed.
Now stating that he was playing it.
I'm so impressed by technology because this very low poly rendition of him still has the hairline completely perfectly fucked up.
Shout outs to the makers of this.
Under a different account, and that he wasn't the infamous down from the rafters. This had reached a state that existing evidence hardly did anything. Most were already convinced that Phil had a mobile gaming addiction, and those unwilling to engage with the evidence were already unreachable in their misplaced trust of Phil, who lives in contradiction.
Okay, that line is very fucking hard. That line goes hard. Listen to this again.
Playing it far off to make it finally caught in this lie. This did have a silver lining. His screen was too far off to make out a name. And so while it's irrefutably confirmed that Phil was actively playing it, Phil was now stating that he was playing it under a different account and that he wasn't the infamous down from the rafters. This had reached a state that existing evidence hardly did anything. Most were already convinced that Phil had a mobile gaming addiction, and those unwilling to engage with the evidence were already unreachable in their misplaced trust of Phil, who lives in contradiction.
I guess for some people, honesty is not the best policy. To some people, lie.
God damn it.
No.
Oh, the choice of quotes. And the snort as well.
I'm sorry. I mean, how dumb can you be?
Annihilation.
That being honest about something, right, is the right thing to do. Oh my God, something happened with Jasper. I completely lie to you guys to try to get sympathy and make money.
Surely you never lie about Jasper.
No.
I'm going to be honest and upfront with you.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to ever lie to you and tell you things that aren't true.
Is that true? Is that the case? Now, when did that start?
I'm not that kind of person.
Okay.
But for some people, that's not good enough, I guess. Whatever. Fuck those people.
Okay, definitely.
Phil lies so much, it is hard to know what is fake or fact. His bankruptcy filing.
Damn it! The cut from one to the next is so awesome.
Yeah.
Like that took some serious, intentionality. Let's say.
Not good enough, I guess.
This is a great
true.
Yeah, I'm hear this again.
It goes hard.
Some people, that's not good enough, I guess. Whatever. Fuck those people.
I'd like this whole quote.
Phil lies so much, it is hard to know what is fake or fact. His bankruptcy files remain king due to them being legal forms. Then you have lesser evidence like the Discord screenshots or even the bank leaks that could theoretically be faked, but the coordination and dedication would make these chances minuscule.
Yes.
Yet Phil gravitates more towards wild theories himself as a way to represent them and paint the tractor community poorly as a way to also dismiss the valid criticism.
Correct.
And this someone works with his fans who have been doxxed, are people with disabilities, are socially inept, or are just lonely.
Oh.
Boom.
Yes.
Can you play the last link I sent just now?
Yes, I can.
That whole summary, though. That
whole summary of the fans right there.
There's lots of different evidence, but then when it's brought all together, it's just too tight. It's just too comprehensive. The way that Phil uses the word circumstantial evidence phrase, it really pisses me off because he uses it to mean like, fake or flimsy evidence you can't really trust.
Yeah.
And that's not really how circumstantial evidence works. Circumstantial evidence in this case will be something like the Down from the Rafters account is not active while DSP is streaming, and then when DSP isn't streaming, the Down from the Rafters account is active. That's circumstantial evidence. So, just one example of the huge amount of circumstantial evidence in this case, and it often makes up the bulk of evidence in legal cases anyway. So,
okay, before we play Meerkat's clip, I want to get one more time how June describes Philip's audience, which is incredibly correct. Okay, this is the audience. Before the king arc happened, this is what his audience was right here.
As a way to represent them and paint the tractor community poorly as a way to also dismiss the valid criticism. And this someone works with his fans who have been doxxed, are people with disabilities, are socially inept, or are just lonely.
And I think that sums it up pretty much, because that's what it would take to believe all of the lies you are seeing right here.
I can't wait for Phil to get to this bit.
Yeah.
When he pauses at this bit and turns to face the camera and goes, "Now, guys, I don't think that about you."
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. To believe all these lies, you have to be one of those three things. And I don't think that's a too much of a stretch. All right, here we go.
He has autism. I think he has autism. And this is coming from someone who has
British accent.
Oh.
Because I've got a low level
Marked one?
autism.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, when he comes on.
I know. He'll beat my
Next
ass
time he's
very
on,
quick. Yeah, he will beat my ass.
I think I donated it because I've been following him for so long. I don't want to say he felt like a friend, but I felt like some kind of weird, like this is someone I've known. I don't really know, but this is someone I've known. The only person I really followed on YouTube for so long, and I felt some kind of attachment, like a buddy in a sense. And I thought, oh, my buddy's in trouble. I help him out.
This is parasocial. This.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just good examples.
People exist within every creator's community.
And June rightfully points this out.
These people exist within every creator's community. But with Phil, that's virtually his entire fan base.
That pretty much sums it up right there, doesn't it? That's the entire fan base.
This point here about how like ingrained and dependent his audience are, and him on his audience is just fantastic.
Yep.
Just really hammers
Phil
the
once
point
did
home.
have a diverse viewer base, but as his infamy grew and his content stagnated, the only thing he offered is consistency. That really means nothing when levied against other content creators.
Yes.
But consistency to someone who is different is what keeps Phil online. To these people, Phil is very interactive. He is a friend. Or in just the perspective of his content, he is reliable and he is consistent. They have ingrained a habit of watching Phil's content into their daily lives for the past 15 years. The harassment and constant doxing by trolls does scare some of them away. But other times, it may strengthen their attachment to Phil.
Yep.
And attachment is a very strong thing, because when Phil says he is in need, they're willing to help out.
Yep.
Have you ever donated any money to Phil?
Yeah, I mean, I say over the past 5 years, it's probably about $400. I followed a lot of content creators, but the thing is, I don't support them with money. Now that I'm thinking about it, I've never once supported any of them with not even a subscription. I think
that's probably because the other people didn't tell you that if they didn't get your money,
they didn't pressure
would lose their house. Yeah, that's probably the kind of, let's say, more malleable minds out there, would probably donate to a lot of people if a lot of them begged. Fortunately, there's not so many that do that.
Of them, if you were watching a lot of streamers and they were like, look, I might be in danger of losing my house, I've got bills, there's taxes, my guy from another state fucked me over, I really need your help, guys. We're going to have to do a special fundraising event, and as a result of that, it means I'm only doing the one stream, not two. So if you could donate more to support that,
if I don't get money today,
other content creators did that.
Yeah, I think more people should pick it up, guys. Come on. You see it works.
We're missing a trick, aren't we? Come on.
I never thought this out loud or even thought about it. So I've never donated to any of them.
These interviews are not entirely representative of Phil's fanbase, as there were only a handful willing to reach out. Others were in fear of exposing themselves. There are, however, endless examples of Phil turning fans into ex-fans. In the best case scenario, you get people like
Gamer J Lee part. All right, we do got to end shortly here.
Let's watch
Gamer J Lee, who was only a fan and modded Phil for a period in the early 2010s.
Could have been in there too. The spoon
These
didn't
people
make
may
it.
comment or joke about Phil, but rarely take it beyond that.
Because I didn't want to basically cause drama, I silently just removed myself as a mod and left.
Again, doing Phil a favor there. He silently left and said, I don't want to be a mod anymore, and just stepped out. He didn't make drama at all. He went out of his way to not do drama.
And every once in a while, I'll take jabs at him whenever he does something wrong. Now, am I going to do the fucked up stuff that some detractor channels do? No.
Despite Gamer J Lee being fairly unengaged, Phil would try to make Gamer J Lee seem uncredible.
It's about me on social media all the time, riffing on me, making fun of me, insulting me and my family, and he's regular in detractor circles and all that.
No, he's not.
So what happened?
Does my channel look like a detractor channel to you? I'm talking about Gears of War and Halo.
Optimally, this is as far as it would go. But when you factor in, this happens to his most dedicated fans that experience is sliding directly from Phil. Those intense people, like his fans, have disabilities, are socially inept, or are just lonely, will take their obsession and twist them against Phil.
Even when you denounce that and call him out on his bullshit, there's still a chance you'll get caught up in the crossfire. Because, there's a lot of, people like Mighty D and, stuff that are great, detractor content creators that make great stuff like Snort Brunel and so on and so forth. But then there's the mentally deranged one. And I got to say that They are.
He's talking about Snood right here, unfortunately.
Mentally fucking disturbed. The way they will take this and twist it to try and basically do life ruination, even for people that denounce Phil. It's disturbing.
This is how you get people that swat him, dox his fans, DDoS his internet, mess with his internet as an alleged employee of Comcast, sleep with his sister-in-law, contact Phil's father to expose Phil, and totes doxing Phil's neighbors and anyone around him as an achievement. What's more, if Phil is several thousand miles away from his family, has long lost connection with friends, and that single only personal refuge is his wife, means his personality curtails around these people. And being in the middle of the vortex, as it is called, means that his words carry much weight from appreciation towards his fans or hate towards his enemies. This has been Phil's life for the past decade and has made him a dull knife. That's why the Side Scrollers interview
made him a dull link. Made him a dull knife. I thought that clip was that comment was very funny. All right, let's go to the conclusion. We could do this all day. Go ahead, Steve. You have anything else? Yeah,
quickly mention this, but yeah, because of that link in from like just how lacking Phil's social life is and how bad he is at interacting with people and how like he and his personality like literally drives people away. Into look what happens when he speaks to two other people who are socialized enough to be able to see his bullshit. It's just brilliantly.
Yep. And you're right that Suburban High says this part is all Phil's going to take away from the documentary. Absolutely. Even though June very carefully said there is some insane people that do fucked up shit. It's not representative of everyone. But Philip, that's all he's trying to do is make that representative of everyone. So everyone doxed me. Everyone swatted me. Everyone tried to fuck my stepsister. That's what he's going to get. So just get ready for that when he tries to debunk all this, which I'm doing this whole week, by the way.
It was catastrophic for Phil. Keeping in mind that Phil will only allow himself to be interviewed by those that are not knowledgeable.
All right, let's go to the end outro because we can't watch all that.
I just want to say it would be very hard for everyone to try and fuck his stepsister when she couldn't even get one guy's dick hard in that video.
Well,
that's just factual. I'm just being factual here. I'm saying what I saw.
Sometimes you got to do a self warm up.
I saw Elmer's glue. It was Elmer's glue.
Well, she was very heavy-handed. You know? She was very heavy-handed. Let's say that she was.
And that's where Phil currently is. He is in a place of changing hate and admiration that to certain degrees are both undeserved. Yep. He rants for hours on end to deaf ears and exists to be mocked.
Yes.
He has what would be anyone else's dream job, but in his case, it's a nightmare. His donations are only decreasing as fans are rarely gained, and enemies are constantly swelling in ranks. Phil is touted for his survivability online when compared to other creators. But the truth is, he has made so many enemies of content creators, his channel was bound to statistically outlive some of them. He has
that whole the cockroach of Phil is persistent. He'll last forever. They destroyed that whole narrative right there. Just saying like, yeah, if you make enough enemies, you'll last more than a lot of them, huh?
He has made so many enemies of content creators.
Go ahead.
This is the part of the documentary that he's going to have a very strong stance against because now he's having his Renaissance era.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to be the part that's going to age the best.
Damn right.
His channel was bound to statistically outlive some of them. He has made possibly over $1 million, yet has nothing to show for it, and is now uploading multi-hour-long videos daily for pennies. He has practically nothing to show for anything. There is only hate, contempt, and displeasure. And being that the only people that interact with him daily, sans his wife, are those utterly obsessed with his life, Phil will continue to curtail his personality around these people who do not represent a healthy reality, as he continues to hold on to what shred of his online career he can grasp.
There we go. That was the whole thing. So, yeah, incredible job. I mean, in terms of what we expected, that was way better than I expected. Can we all agree on that? I mean,
yeah.
It feels like he went deeper in things that I didn't think he would, for sure. You know, remember we were talking about how deep is he going to go WWE Champions? But he covered all the beats you need to hit to prove it's him, you know what I mean? And talked about Leanna. Yeah, did he leave out some stuff? Yeah, of course. I wanted to hear the Incel Manifesto, right? I wanted to hear, the unsolicited fish pic. We wanted to see that, but great job overall.
it's incredibly impressive to go and research somebody that you know nothing about and then put together such a coherent, well-paced story where you transition into the different phases, into the different topics with such ease, and also very gracefully diss the guy on a level where it shows that you really understand what's going on.
Yep.
So hats off to June. He is the one true king. The king is dead. Long live the king.
Hell yeah. Well, Steve, what's your final thoughts here before we read super chats?
Yeah, I just like shout out to June for like writing that whole thing, because like Meerkat said, it can't be easy to go into someone. And this is like 16 years of shit. This isn't just like someone who started in like 2015 or something. This is nearly 2 decades worth and it goes beyond that. So for like the writing and the editing and making it all flow cohesively, where it just felt like a natural story, you were watching it progress and you could follow from beat to beat to beat and how it all built. And it was just brilliant. It was way better than I was expecting. And yeah, it feels like another side scrollers, you know, where we were all like, oh, this isn't going to be great. It's going to be a bit naff. And then just out of nowhere, it takes a turn and goes right off into like, this is fucking amazing territory. Great.
That WWE Champions intro was just such a fucking dude. I was like, that is like, you know, when you see fucking art, real art, and if you feel it, like boom. I was like, what the fuck, dude? That was incredible. But you know, obviously, we're gonna keep talking about this. We're gonna get to the. We're talking about the debunk either Friday or Sunday. So how that's gonna work is. Craig is going to be interviewed by Philip on Thursday, which I guess we should talk about a little bit. My thoughts are thus on that. Philip's not going to be able to do another. Craig is not going to be able to do another interview 2.0, as Philip said. But remember, nothing of any circumstance has changed since the interview happened. So I hope Craig still has those same thoughts that he had then, which were, you didn't convince me of anything. You sound like an asshole, dude. What your excuse for everything is that's not true. So nothing has changed of any circumstance since then. Just because more people say you're the king doesn't mean anything's changed. So I just hope Craig portrays that, because all those things you didn't believe back then, nothing has changed. Just I'm the king now. That's not a defense, you know. So we'll see how that goes. Craig said he wants to clear the air. So I guess he wants to hear Phil's side of it. But what's Phil's side going to be, especially after this documentary just dropped? You know, I was an alcoholic. Yeah. I was a character. I was razzing. That's pretty much all the excuses we have, I think. Did I miss any?
Just some quick news coverage. You mentioned earlier that Ethan Ralph is now in the mix.
Yeah.
But I'm going to read out the tweet he made, and you guys tell me what you think about that.
Please.
I was going to leave this fucker DSP alone, but I guess he wants the smoke. Detractors, get in touch. Kino Casino has tried to whitewash his history, and now he thinks he's big again. LMAO. Let's bring him down a few notches. And me personally, I don't think I'm going to side with Ethan Ralph on this particular issue.
No. No. I'm not going to be on the sidelines of the team Ethan here. I am not team Ethan. Steve? Maybe you are. I don't look like you want to say something.
Just like the only time it's ever really worked when someone's gone, hey, detractors, we should all do this, is when we had the guy figurine. We were like, hey, detractors, come and donate for a good cause. Get a figurine, it'd be cool. Everything else is just like, it reminds me of like people who are new coming in going, well, why has nobody sued Phil, and starting up a lawsuit or something. And it's like, well, you know, you've got a lot to catch up on, so it never works. And this just feels like another one of them.
Pretty dented is my final take. Camping Dutchman says Craig did watch the doc. He left a funny comment. What was the comment, Camping Dutchman? What was Craig's comment? That could be interesting if you know it. I'll read the super chats here. Got a speed run. I got a coach roller hockey here soon in 30 minutes. I gotta get out of here. Gengar Green says the Gunt versus the Gout. Let's go! Gunt versus the Gout. Hell yeah!
And also, he made a video about this. I guess if we have time. How long is this shit?
How long is this?
This is 2 minutes, and it's an actual fucking wrestling promo in black and white.
Can you send me the link?
As good as the Father Time.
Check the Poem's Twitter. He retweeted it.
Oh, mama.
At Poem Josh. also the people listening follow him for the latest and greatest of Dark Side Phil coverage.
Yeah, he's a very frequent updater. He's one of like the people who carries the community on Twitter.
Modern day
He's
dragon
the reason
killer.
why I don't have to watch DSP.
Oh God.
The king of hate. The king of hate. You know what? I'm the king of hate. Phil Labonte. Is that your name? I don't even know.
Labonte?
He's so drunk.
I looked it up one time, but I don't care about your career. I don't care about your history on YouTube. I don't give a fuck about what you've done, except all the scams you pulled on your audience. I do care about that. Except all the, beg me, please this, please give me money for this, please help my working toilet, please, Nobody believes that fucking bullshit. You fucking lying sack of shit. And you want to go at me? I really think that's a mistake.
The chair squeak.
But only time will tell. Only time will tell.
What is this promo, dude?
Because I have dedicated myself now to taking you out fully.
What? Fully?
And
what does that mean?
You can apologize
for what?
To me personally, and I'll let it go because that's the kind of guy I am. But if not, I'm going to fuck you up bad with everybody else who wants to fuck you up bad. Whether they like me or not, they don't like you. And so I would retreat now if I were you. Because the things you have suffered at the hands of your detractors are minuscule compared to what the fuck I'm about to do to you.
Okay.
We did it, you guys.
Let's just move on positively.
We found a guy who averages less words per minute than Review Tech USA. We did it.
Triple P just dropped this. Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. And
I am.
This is what was all about, my friends, is people to interact with Philip, to create content for people that enjoy lolcow content. And I think that's pretty clear. I think we all understand that here, but just keep that in your mind. This is all theater of the lolcows, and Triple P is ensuring that the players in that play keep moving on that stage, and that's what it's all about. With that being said, let me finish all the super chats. I do not want to get divorced again. CDC Jackie says, I wish he pointed to the lie about hitting the 11-year-old girl, as he could add the quotes from his gameplay and from the debunk. Yeah, again, you're always going to have things you wish they could have added. But, yeah,
the 11-year-old girl was in. Yeah.
They put it in, but
but not the debunk afterwards where he went never happened.
We didn't get that. ES says, Frailty's demummification fund. Thank you. It does take a lot. JE5150 says, June started out tame, then snuck in sneak disses, then took direct shots at DSP towards the end. And remember, June the King will be interviewed by DSP at some point next week, but I don't think it's set in stone yet, so we'll see if that happens. We'll see how that goes. Scrappy says,
if DSP is alive by then, judging by all these promos flying around.
Boat Knight says, all this evidence, DSP will say, shrug, it isn't me. Some of that stuff, I mean, it'll be interesting. That's why we're watching it. Yona Hall says he's going to reveal he is down from the rafters because he's been micro-dosing on the new account and it's bothering him. Those pulls should have gone to down from the rafters. Yeah, that would hurt, though. Nervous Noodle says he'll skip the entire financial section. Brutal. He said he will not skip anything. This is his final stance. This would be the place you go. I'm going to put this shit to bed. I think I heard that before. Before a certain interview. Oh. Okay, probably nothing. Retro Doomman X says the title should be The Lion King. Yeah, because it is. Lions. Too keen to give a what? Says Meerkat has to make a song about Philly Boy E Thuggin featuring Triple P and Derek.
Maybe I will. You never know.
That's a combo. That's a combo.
ES says, did Phil pick Renton because it's in King County? I don't know. Good question. Luigi's Nair says, chances of Phil canceling the June interview? It's above 0 in my mind, but still very low because he'll want the clout. That's a lot of views, right? So, and he'll try to get some kind of felt on June. Like, do you admit you didn't get this part right? That's actually not my face reveal video. Boom, felted. Okay.
So therefore, all the documentary can be thrown out.
Yeah. As you can see, there's a few inconsistencies. You spelled Alex Valle's name wrong. He has 2 L's, June. What do you say about that, June? Any answers? I didn't think so.
So what you're saying is you're only listening to the detractor narratives. Is that correct? I think that's a cope, June. I think that's a cope.
A cope. I know. That's
it's
a cope.
Not snort. It's snot.
That's a cope. No. Cope of what? I'm still waiting for an answer on what the cope is on that. ES says, was June saying fail on purpose or is it an accent? Well, I think it's AI of his voice, I thought. Is that the case? People have told me. A lot of people are saying. It's like AI of his actual voice, and it definitely sounded like fail every single time. Like, I was like, hold on a second. He's not saying Phil at all. He's saying fail. But once you hear it, you can't not hear it anymore.
Words that were a bit clipped or like rushed. Yeah,
it's weird. Ludwig World Order in the house with the bust, and Ludwig World Order would be with me tonight on WPIG as we watch the night 2 of the debunk. So Ludwig World Order and myself will watch the debunk. Steve, I know Meerkat, you're asleep, but Steve, you're always welcome if you want to join. King Eagles,
I'll be asleep as well. Unfortunately,
it is too late for you
guys. Right now.
King Eagles, in time June certified hood banger, big ups. JE5150 says, I wish June went deeper on why DSP wanted an interview. The short clip of Moist reacting to his scorn bag destroyed DSP mentally and led to the side scroller's arc. Yes, that led to the dream.
Yeah, we should have had the dream and the tweet and all that.
The dream, yeah. The side scrollers interview was a very short segment. Nervous Noodles, a bag a day keeps reality away. Hell yeah. That's a good one. That's a tattoo. Beth Bear says, LTG dodging Phil like his daughter. Okay. I'll move on positively. Mixture Extravagant says, big ups to Piece of Peace and Ziggy. Both of you killed it last night with ALT and WPIG Restream. ALT not too bad either. Thank you, Mr. Extravagant. Gordon Flowers pointing at Derek says, down from the IP. And Alex Feature says, to the British style red dwarf from a Russian style bear.
What a smee. What a smee.
That must be a British style reference.
Yeah. See, Sam will get it. Sam will get it. Sam's in chat. He'll get that one.
Tony T says, and if you're worried about the money, it will die. There we go. Tony T, big ups to you. And yes, you'll be redirected to Sam's new video. No outro. I'll just do it right the fuck now. Oh, when does it go live? Is the premiere when? I don't want to fuck this up. Premiere is at what time? We'll be redirected there. Hopefully it's soon. Is it live now? Let me check. Come on. The premiere is in 5:50. Oh, 10 minutes. Perfect. So the premiere starts in 10 minutes. So as soon as the song is over, you'll be redirected right there. All right? I'm actually no song. I gotta go right away. You're all fucking legends. Last words, Meerkat.
I should have a very long-winded speech so ALT can get
divorced again. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go watch the video now.
Steve of the Dead, final words.
Very quickly, there was 2 points. Like, one was from Panda's vlog, which was he's so supportive of my crafty ways, even if he doesn't understand half of it. And that's Phil just like not paying attention to Panda while she's talking.
Correct.
And the other one is Panda Lee was a fair match for Phil because she had similar reasoning. It's a fucking amazing comment on Phil's mental maturity at the age of 29.
Oh,
so yeah, thanks for them, June.
All right, we'll see you on Friday, my friends, with either a Craig sum up, or we'll go through the debunk. You're all fucking legends. See ya. Bye.
This one goes out to the one and only, the big cat, the fat cat.